professional level. This is why.
Guys, what is the hardest thing to do in baseball mentally? We all know that stats and your numbers are a huge part of when you get recruited, how you get recruited, by which school, how you get to professional baseball, whether that's through high school or college. How do you make it to where you're not dwelling on your stats every game and that's affecting your overall performance? If you go 0 for 1, are you stuck thinking about that 0 for 1, and is it having an impact on your next at bat? We've talked a lot about failure. We've talked about how you got to embrace it, how to deal with it. But the reality is still this. If you're constantly up there thinking about your stats and thinking about your numbers, you're not going to do well. I've never seen a guy who every at bat or every time he goes out to pitch, he's just constantly focused on his numbers and, oh, I gave up a run here in the first inning. Now I got to go 3 scoreless to get my numbers down. You're just going to give up the house after that. Or you're just going to go 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts, dwelling on your numbers. What I call it is trying to get 3 hits with 1 swing. The guys that are up there, they're so focused on their numbers, they think that 1 at bat is going to have the major impact on their overall season. When in reality, it's just about your consistency at the plate or your consistency on the mound, both with your physical adjustments and your mentality. So guys, what is the one thing and a few things that you can or that will allow you to detach from thinking about the stats and thinking about the numbers? Because that is really one of the hardest things about baseball, especially of all the major sports. Because what separates baseball is the in-between innings, or the times when you're on the bench waiting to hit and you have that time to think, or you're in the outfield or infield in between hitters and you have that time to think and go back to that last at bat or go back to the last 3 or 4 games where you've been struggling. That's the battle that most people cannot win. The reason why they don't have success, they cannot get rid of that dwelling of the mind on the numbers where they're currently at or where they want them to be. So, how do you get rid of this? One, you have to remember that baseball is a game. Baseball is a game. And what I mean by that is, it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy having fun playing baseball. If you're out there thinking about your stats the entire time, it's more like a job to you. And a lot of guys that think like this, because I've played with them, I've coached them, I've talked with them, they almost they're not even looking forward to getting to the field when they're struggling. They're not even looking forward to getting another at bat. I was the exact opposite. When I was struggling, I could not wait to get in the field the next day. I could not wait to get to that next at bat because I knew one of those at bats is going to come and I'm going to hit the barrel and I'll be good again. But guys, remember, you got to have fun playing the game. Enjoy the game for itself, not for what it can do for you, not only when you're having success, but just enjoy the fact that you get to play baseball every day. That was one of the things later on in my career. I found when I was always struggling, when I would struggle, because like I said, everyone struggles every year. When I was struggling, one of the things that would kind of detach me from that is I would start to remember, man, I get to play baseball for a living. Like, I'm out here playing the game I love, the game I think I look forward to doing every single day. And yeah, I'm struggling, but I'm still getting to do this. And I've had an amazing career. If this is where it ends, I've had an amazing career. Detach from the stats. And the funny thing is, as soon as I kind of detached from that, a day or two later, I'm back. I'm breaking out of the slump. Instead of just pressing, trying to get 3 hits with 1 swing. Number 2, guys, focus on winning the game. Now, the reason this is important, and this is something that my dad, general manager of the Atlanta Braves, Baltimore Orioles, front office executive 40 years, he would always tell me, is your focus should not be on your stats or your how individual at bats. Your focus should be on doing what you need to do to win the game, and your goal is winning each game. Why? Well, do players on the winning team usually put up better numbers or the losing team? I'll let you guys think about that for like 2 seconds. It should be an easy answer. The guys on the winning team had to do better than the guys on the losing team. Very rarely do you see the reverse. Maybe the losing team made a bunch of errors in the ninth inning and actually they had better numbers. But generally speaking, the team that wins is going to put up better numbers. And the team that wins more over the course of a season, those guys, pitchers and hitters, are going to have better numbers than the teams with the worst records. So your goal should always be to win each game. And that sounds, I know some people are going to be like, yeah, well, that's obvious. Yeah. But the problem is what a lot of you guys are doing is you're focusing on your individual efforts and your individual performance, and then winning is kind of secondary to that. And you guys have all played with guys that do this. Guys that, you win the game, and they went 0 for 4, and they're down at the corner of the dugout pouting. No one wants to be a teammate with that kind of guy. But that's a guy to the extreme who has put his individual performance over his team's success, his team's winning. Now, there's nothing wrong with thinking, man, I wish I could have, I could have contributed a little bit more to the win. But you should always be happy that you guys won. Because again, it means your teammates picked you up and you're on a winning team. Those numbers are gonna happen. Focus on winning. Every at bat, think about, okay, what do I need to do here to help us win? My dad always said that, when he was calling up a guy to the big leagues, it wasn't about his numbers. It wasn't about anything. It was about this guy can help us win baseball games. Because, guys, you got to think about this. The major leagues, and this is why you see so many college successful college players make it to the big leagues, because, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but in high school, you never really play under a lot of pressure for playing time, especially if you're a good player that's going to play in college. Usually, unless you're at an elite baseball high school, your college players, you're not worried about playing time. You're just so much better than the other guys on your team. When you get to college, that talent equalizes really fast. And performance, you start out 3 weeks and you're not doing well, good chance you might get benched. So in college, you're constantly, especially as a freshman or your first-year player, trying to establish that track record so that when you do hit a slump, the coach is going to trust you to get out of it. Because as a first-year player, as a freshman, whatever, struggling early on could lead to you getting benched. So there's a lot of pressure to win baseball games and perform for college players. Now, the minor leagues, it's all about development. So your team loses, you're struggling, they're going to let you figure that out, especially if they got some money invested in you. They're going to let you figure it out. You could hit 230 for a whole year. Next year, you're still going to go somewhere and get a chance to play again, whether it's at the same level. And nowadays, they just promote guys in at 230 if you're a prospect. That's what they do now. And so in the big leagues, it's back to that. Better perform pretty quick when you get there. And it's all about winning. They don't care. It's not about development in the big leagues anymore. It's about winning games, trying to get to the playoffs. So again, like a lot of decision makers, like my dad, the focus was, okay, how many more wins is this guy going to bring to us versus a guy he's replacing? Your numbers are great. Yeah, you need to have good numbers. But if we don't think he's going to win us baseball games, or more so than the guys we have, he's not getting called up. Okay? So number 3, and again, guys, this is about detaching from your numbers. Detaching from your numbers. Look on it at a season whole. Don't look at it game to game. Game to game, you may be the best player ever. You may be the worst player in history. Understand, it's a season. It's a marathon. You don't need to get 4 hits in the first game. It's a marathon. Like I said, I struggled every single April in my professional career. No matter if I was raking at the end of spring training, I could be feeling like a man. I feel like I'm hitting the best I ever have. And then first game of spring, April 7th or whatever, I'm 0 for. And then I'm 0 for again. And now I'm 0 for 8 to start the season. I didn't panic. I knew I have 500 something more at bats coming. 0 for 8 is not going to kill me. You got to be even keeled. You have to understand you got a lot of at bats ahead of you. Again, we're getting closer and closer to that spring season where a lot of you guys are going to get a chance to perform. You cannot put game 1, and this is a little bit of Steve Springer, who I love. If you guys don't know him, check him out. Great mindset guy, played in the big leagues, long-time minor league journeyman. You got to play every game like it's game one, like it's opening day. Because on opening day, you think, we're going to win the World Series, I'm going to have the best year of my life, this is going to be, I put in all this work, it's going to go fantastic. Well, then game 4 comes around and you're 2 for 12 and you're already in panic mode and you're already worried about, well, how's my, I got to make sure my numbers are all right. Go walk into every day like it's opening day. Nothing but expectations, nothing but excitement, nothing but hope, and you're 0 for 0. The future is yours. The season is yours. So it's a marathon, and play every game like it's opening day. Opening day mentality. And I understand it's hard. Sometimes you're on that 0 for 12 or 0 for 14, or in my case, my worst was 0 for 28. You feel like, man, I forgot how to hit. I can't put the ball in play, let alone get a hit. Can't put it on the barrel. Every day you got to know, get to the field, whether you're in high school, college, pro ball, and know, hey, today I got a chance to break out. Hey, don't let me break out. Don't let me get out of this slump. That's the mentality you got to have. You cannot take it too seriously. Like Crash Davis would say, you got to play this game with fear and arrogance. You got to think you're the best, even when you know you're not. Every at bat, you got to think, I'm better than this guy. I'm better than this guy. But you also have to play with that. You can't get too cocky, can't get too confident, because at some point the game's going to humble you. You got to play the game with fear and arrogance. Hope this helps, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And any suggestions you guys have for future videos, let me know. If you enjoy our content, hit the like button. Helps us with the algorithm. If you're not a subscriber, we have daily content that comes out every day about recruiting, baseball development, mentality. Hit the subscribe button. You won't be disappointed. Appreciate you guys' support. Let me know what you think in the comments.